Right then, welcome back to the channel. I'm filming a video outside today because, well, the real reason is my wife's moaning at me that I'm not filming stuff outside. So I'll give you a quick show of where we're filming. This is our little villa that we've got here in San Diego. There's our pool. And there's our little gaff. So hopefully she's happy now and we can get this done. We're doing the Borussia Dortmund preview. This is our last day here in San Diego before we head over to Las Vegas for United's last game on the American leg, which isn't the last game because it's a game at Old Trafford, and then there's a game in Dublin next weekend as well. And I will be at the Dublin game. I won't be at the Old Trafford game. But if you're in Dortmund, if you're in Las Vegas this weekend and you go to the Dortmund game, give us a shout. We haven't got anything specifically planned pre-game, like a tailgate or anything like that, but we will be hanging around and come and see loads of you. It's been amazing seeing how many of you watch the show and how many Paddock shirts we've seen as well since we've been out here. So cheers to everyone that's come and said hello, and hopefully we'll see some more of you both in Dublin and in Las Vegas. But that being said, let's get on with it. Borussia Dortmund, what can we expect and how do we want to see us line up? So, for the fourth time in 5 seasons, Borussia Dortmund settled for a runners-up spot in Bundesliga, and they let the lead that they had slip to the ultimate eventual winners in Bayern Munich in heartbreaking fashion on the final day of last season. And they've since dusted themselves down. They made a bright start to pre-season. They've won each of their opening 3 games in Germany by an aggregate score of 12-3, albeit against lower-level opposition. This is recorded prior to their San Diego Loyal game, so I don't know how they've done in that game. You'll have to let me know in that one. And they have made 2 major additions. They've got Nmecha and they've got Marcel Sabitzer, interestingly. Now, how do they play and what should we be expecting? Well, Dortmund play quite similar to how we're looking to try and play, in all honesty. They're going to see them line up in a bit of a 3+1 shape. We'll see the 6 kind of drop in between the 2 centre-halves, spreads them a little bit wider. They then progress by positioning others in between the lines, off the ball movement, lateral, vertical, and they look to try and create space for the good old faithful I absolutely love, and my team are sick of hearing me saying, which is the up, back and through. The midfield 3 don't really bunch or rotate as much, but they do come short and come and collect the ball, and the fullbacks look to try and maintain the width. Left back does like to invert a little bit higher up the pitch, which helps because they've got a bit more of a direct winger ahead of him. They are expansive and they do get into the rotations when they do get into the final third. On the counter-attack, the approach remains very similar. They'll use pace, they'll use power, and they seem to prioritise quick, one-touch and direct vertical sort of play. Defensive principles for them, they defend like us in a 4-2-3-1 shape. They have the double pivot working a screen, passes and space everything in behind so that the back 4 gets that little bit of protection. That can also look like a 4-1-4-1 at times without a true number sort of 10. They kind of drop it off a little bit and you'll see the wingers kind of just come and drop in and try and deny space. The flexibility of the 4-2-3-1 to a 4-1-4-1, on paper it looks really, really similar. It's just about the positioning of one of the number 6s, really. I think their star player is probably going to be Julian Brandt. 9 goals, 8 assists, probably his best season to date. I think he's coming off that. He's really versatile, and depending on where you look, Brandt will either be listed as a forward, a midfielder, an attacking midfielder, a winger. Like, the guy can fulfill a number of positions. He's 6'1", he's got a real powerful presence about him, he's got good speed, good aerial ability, he's got real deftness on the ball that allows him to wiggle out of really tight spots. He's technically adept across both feet as well. He arrives late in the box a little bit like Frank Lampard. So you've got to watch for those, because I thought against Real Madrid, United were not quick enough on the draw. Maybe that was because Christian Eriksen was there rather than Menu, but we weren't quick enough on the draw. So the balls that was coming back behind our defence, the gap in between defence and midfield was quite drastic, and I thought we were struggling to get onto those and into that position. For me, I think the match winner in this is going to be Lisandro Martinez. He's going to be up against Haller. He's having a little bit of criticism from opposition fans because he's going in quite hard and they're like, oh, it's only pre-season. But it's Arsenal and they're crying. But I don't care. The attitude is there are no friendlies and it's all about preparation and getting ready for the season ahead. And Martinez is certainly looking to do that. He is going as hard as he would play if this was a Premier League or a European Cup game. So I got no issues with that whatsoever. And I think he'll be exactly the same against Dortmund. We've not really seen him up against a traditional forward. Yes, he's played against Gabriel Jesus in pre-season this year, but he's not really a traditional forward. He is a fox in the box. I'm talking about someone that's going to put him on his back, someone that's physically going to be able to dominate him, someone that's better in the air than him. And we haven't really seen anyone level that up against him. And I think Haller will do that to him. And obviously Haller and him are former teammates. Haller obviously being a former Ten Hag player himself. I think Martinez is going to be a very important part for United in this particular game. And I think how he performs will be how the team performs, because I think Haller represents quite a tough task. And if you can cope with him, that puts us in a really good stead, I think, for the season that's going to come, and probably for that game as well. In terms of starting 11 for United, I think we go strong. I think we're into the period now where you start to see at least 50, 60 minutes out of your strongest 11. We saw against Real Madrid, he made like basically an entire team change late on in the game. I expect that to be a similar sort of thing now as well. And the 11 that I'm expecting to see, I think Onana will probably keep his place in net. I think Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw alongside Martinez and Varane are absolute gimmies, but shout out to Lindelof because I thought he looked really good when he came on against Real Madrid. In midfield, this is where you've got to ask the question now. Are United going to dominate the ball, or are we going to look to try and play on the counter a little bit against Dortmund? Because both are options, to be honest. Dortmund aren't really going to be a team that dominates the ball too much, so you could expect Dortmund to try to play counter-attacking football against United. If that's the case, are we quick enough on a transition with just Casemiro, or do you want to bring someone else in? Could this be a game that Scott McTominay plays alongside Casemiro and give Bruno or Mount the number 10 position? I'm going to go with that, actually. Even though I do think Scott McTominay will be sold, I think this might be an opportunity to put him in the shop window a little bit. If he'd have scored against Real Madrid, his price would have gone up by 10 million, I'm certain of that. But I'm going to say, yeah, actually, let's play Scott McTominay for those transitions alongside Casemiro. I'm going to give Bruno 30 minutes off the bench and give Mount 60. I'm going to go Anthony off the right-hand side, Sancho off the left, and Marcus Rashford down the middle. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be a team that looks to try and hold the ball, dominate possession a little bit, but has also got a little bit of athleticism on the transition with Scott McTominay. That's the team that I think we're going to go with. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. This might be the last time we see Scott McTominay start for Manchester United on the back of this, if a West Ham deal does come to fruition. But let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.